Hi, I'm STARBORN. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you'd already know that the title of tonight's show is Two Choices. That isn't exactly what I wanted to call it. In fact, I wanted to call it Double the Trouble, Double the Fun, but that title was too long. However, because of the way the planets are lining up right now, it simply means that you could have two choices this week, and that would be choices to be in two different activities or to be involved in two primary efforts, both at the same time. And that could be wonderful because they don't need to both be of the same intensity or projected over a longer period of time. They could be part-time or they could be temporary. But the reason why you could have two choices is because Venus is now in Aries, and Aries is the sign of new starts, and it is at 23 degrees. It is in perfect trine to Jupiter in Sagittarius, also at 23 degrees. When we reduce numbers, we add their digits, and since both of these planets are also trying the sign of Leo, but they are both at the same degree, we can add 23 as 2 plus 3, and that equals 5. 5 is the number of Gemini, and Gemini rules duality. It's the sign of the twins, and the sign of Gemini is activated right now because Mars is in Gemini. And so that can sort of stir things up, or that can involve all the things that Gemini rules, which is communication and easy transitional change and buying and selling and marketing and advertising and gossip and conversation as well. And things that are of short duration. And so it could be something temporary or part-time, or it could be just a short trip or getting together with casual friends. But these two activities are going to be of different duration. It's going to take a different amount of time to complete both of them. One of your activities is going to go very smoothly. Oh, there might be some little change in a plan or in some sort of schedule, but it is aspected to go really smoothly and very soon. Could happen very soon. And the reason why is because that Venus and Jupiter are both so beautifully trining each other. So that's going to be fine. But the other activity is going to take you a little while, and that is because it could involve a delay that other people are causing. Well, you'd have to wait for that. Or it could involve a situation that is beyond your control. You couldn't do anything about it, so you'd have to wait on that too. And that means that that activity could perhaps take you the whole summer and into the fall before you've really accomplished your goal in one way or another. So what kind of activities or involvement or choices could you be making? One of them might involve a move, and that is because today the moon in Cancer is at home in the sign it rules, and Cancer rules residential real estate in our homes and our families, and so it does rule moving, and it is beautifully trining Neptune in Pisces. And Neptune is the ruler of Pisces as well, and Pisces does rule dreams, so you might be thinking of making a dream come true that involves some sort of a move. And that could go rather smoothly right now because both of these planets, the moon and Neptune, are so strong and so well aspected. And so they also trine the sign of Scorpio, and Scorpio is a fixed financial sign. So if you were contemplating a move of some sort, you would get the financing for it. The financing would be there, which is wonderful. So that could be one rather successful activity or choice of yours. Another one might be that you might prefer to buy and sell. That has to do with a Gemini activity. But the reason why you might want to buy and sell is because your investments could be somewhat profitable right now. And that's because the Sun, Mercury, and Uranus are in Taurus, a sign of investment, a fixed financial sign, and they're beautifully trining Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. So if you were buying and selling some investments, it might be because you want to take the money and do other things with it. And because these 5 planets in the earth signs are also trining the sign of Virgo, which rules our health, both our mental health and our physical health, it can be that one of the activities that you want to participate in now is that you may want to go ahead and invest in an improvement in your health. You may want to finally decide to really do something serious that could really improve your health. Well, that would be a good investment as well. Or another activity or choice that you make right now could be that you may want to go ahead and increase your education by taking a training course or even going back to further a college education program of yours. Or you may want to travel a long distance, or you might just want to even move a long distance, sort of far away. And that is because Venus is in Aries, trining that Jupiter in Sagittarius perfectly, and Sagittarius rules long distance travel and education as well. So there are a variety of choices that you could be involved in, and some of them could be longer term, some of them could be short term. I think there's going to be at least 2, and one of them is going to sort of click right into place soon and go rather smoothly, and the other one is probably going to sort of slowly drag its feet until it reaches completion. So that might take you a longer period of time. In fact, you could even return to something that had failed before in your life and give it another try. Well, this is a very good time to do that as well. So both of your choices that are coming up that you can be involved in both at the same time will succeed. It's just that they're going to succeed at a different time, not at the same time. So you have to allow for that. All right, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, lucky you. Venus is in your sign at 23 degrees, perfectly trining Jupiter in Sagittarius, also at 23 degrees. Well, I think you've got some choices in mind right now, Aries, and for sure one of them can work pretty quickly, and it could involve summer fun. Remember, because Venus and Jupiter are both trining Leo as well, and that's what Leo rules too. Or it can be that you just want to start something new, and oh boy, this is the time when you would really get a green light, Aries. You might have been preparing for that for a while, and now you may feel fully capable of going ahead. And despite some small change in a schedule or in a plan, something could really move forward smoothly very soon. So you have that to look forward to. On the other hand, another choice of yours could take a little bit longer, particularly since Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn are squaring Venus in your own sign, indicating that there can be a delay made in something else by other people. Well, you'd have to just live with that, or there could be a situation beyond your control, perhaps a business matter that you're just going to have to wait on because there's nothing you can do about it. But still, the aspects are wonderful, and if you're feeling like falling in love, this is the right time to do it, Aries, so good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, this is a wonderful time for you, and that is because your sign does rule investments and working very hard. And you could be thinking of that, buying and selling investments. After all, Mars in Gemini, which rules buying and selling, is right ahead of your sun sign. And so with the Sun, Mercury, and Uranus all in your sign, being trined by Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, you may be wanting to realign your investment portfolio that has to do with your long-range goals or even your retirement. And that's because that's what Capricorn rules. On the other hand, if you're just wanting to take some profit right now by selling something and invest it in an improvement, a serious improvement in your health, this is the perfect time to do it, Taurus. So I hope you could give that a try as well. So anyway, I think that if you are making two choices right now, One of them is going to take longer. That might have something to do with a retirement portfolio, because those do tend to increase, but at a steady, slow pace. The other activity is going to involve something that you may have already started or you're about to start behind the scenes, because Venus is in Aries right behind your sun sign. And that one could work out very well, even with minor adjustments in a short period of time. So that could go rather smoothly. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, Mars is in your sign, and there aren't any planets in the other air signs, so you don't have any backup at all. And Neptune in Pisces is squaring your sun, and that Jupiter in Sagittarius, which is being beautifully trined by Venus right now, is actually opposing your sun sign. So you still have to be a little careful about what you say right now, Gemini, because people could sort of take it the wrong way, or you could just say too much. And that's why, you know, try to save your conversation for another day, or at least until Mars gets out of your sign, which it's about to do. It's about to leave and go into Cancer, but it hasn't done that yet. However, the planets right behind your sun sign, the Sun, Mercury, which is your own ruler, and Uranus, are in Taurus, and that means behind the scenes you could be very seriously thinking about something that involves a lot of money or is somewhat pricey. And that is rather well aspected right now, Gemini. So I wouldn't talk or tell too many people what you've got in mind behind the scenes, but it's looking like that could be successful, whatever that is. And even if you don't have all the money you need right now, you might figure out a way to get that through buying and selling, or you could be contemplating some sort of a move. And you know, those things could work out pretty well. As long as you're quiet about it. I think it'll work out better if you're just real quiet instead, because then you can concentrate on it without any opposition. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, I think for sure you have your mind on some kind of move. It could be a move that you're making, or it could be a move that another family member is making, because the moon is in your sign today. And so that can bring out the best in you, Cancer. And it is beautifully trining Neptune in Pisces. And Pisces does rule dreams and things going on behind the scenes. And those two very strong planets are trining the sign of Scorpio, which is a fixed financial sign. And so Scorpio rules credit and debt and taxes and loans and grants and inheritance and insurance proceeds. So you could be involved with all of those things in a very profitable way, Cancer. So anything that involves your home or your family or a possible move is very well aspected right now. And so I think that you should sort of pursue that. It doesn't mean that you move immediately, but if it's not you, it's somebody else that you could help with that, and that would tend to work out really well. There could be something in a business matter or a government matter that would involve something you're connected with, and that would go more slowly. And in fact, that might not be determined until some business matter might not be determined until summertime or even this fall. And so you'd have to sort of wait on something that is beyond your control, that has to be revised or resolved first before you can go ahead with your other plans. But they are looking pretty good. So good luck to you and your family. All right, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, this is a time when, you know, everyone's going to have a chance to make two choices. And I think for sure one of them is going to involve a new start for you, Leo. And it is really going to work out very well and soon. But that's just one choice. The other choice is going to take a little while. But your choice that's going to work out soon is because Venus is in Aries at 23 degrees, trining your sun, and Jupiter is in Sagittarius at 23 degrees, also trining your sun sign. And so there's just nothing stopping their goodness from pouring right into your sun sign, Leo. And that means that other people can find you very attractive. It can also open up opportunities for you to be a leader, or to do things with children or loved ones, or even have a love affair, or you could be involved in sports right now or the entertainment world. And all of that, despite any small alterations in schedules or plans, could work out very well and soon. Or you could even travel. That would work out well as also. But the other thing that you could be making a choice on may have to be put on hold. And the reason why is that the Sun, Uranus, and Mercury in Taurus are all strongly squaring your sun sign. And since Taurus is a fixed financial sign, that means that something else that you really do have your mind on, you don't have enough money for, or else it's too high priced and you don't quite have your investments worked out to be able to afford it yet. And so that is going to be delayed, or you have to wait on a business matter to be resolved first, or it can be that the timing is just going to be better this fall. So one is going to slowly drag its feet toward completion, and the other one is going to just work out as if you were in a dream. You will absolutely love it, Leo, so good luck. Okay, what does it mean to Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is a time when your two choices can involve things that are very dear to your heart. And one of them can be your health, because your sign rules health, mental and physical health. And so this may be a time, since there are 5 planets, 3 in Taurus and 2 in Capricorn, trining your sun, with 5 planets in very good aspect to your sun sign, your mind can be on your other true love, which is investments. And so, and your retirement portfolio. So you could be thinking of making investment adjustments by buying and selling things, and you could get a fantastic offer from someone else who wants to buy something that you own, Taurus. And I would say yes, if I were you, that it would be good money. But at the same time, you may want to turn around and use some profit from your investments to make a really serious improvement in your health. And it may take some money to do that, but I think you're going to have it. And this is a very good time to get serious about improving your health while you have so much support from the other planets. And that means this is a time to really sort of do everything right, Virgo, because you'll have a lot of help with that. And so things will work out. Improving your health would take a while, but something else is going to fall into place rather quickly, and despite some small adjustments, it's going to work out real well. So congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, this is a time when I think that you're going to have to carefully think about what your two choices will be, Libra, and that is because that Venus in Aries is opposing your sun sign, and it's your own ruler. So if there is a choice to be made, someone else may be making it. In other words, before you can do what you want to do, you may have to wait until somebody else takes the first step, or they make a new start of their own, and then that can free you up to make a new start of your own. So that would be good, but that would take time. And then Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn are squaring your sun sign, and that too can represent a business matter that has to be revised or reviewed or something before you can go on and make the choices that you want to make. So you can be subject to, you can try to get a new beginning off the ground, but you can be subject to delays due to a situation that is beyond your control, something you can't do anything about yourself. And so I'm advocating, Libra, that you just be very, very patient and keep planning, okay? Because you could make two choices, one of which you're all ready to do the minute that somebody else decides what they want to do as well. Then you can go your way on that. That could work out rather quickly and somewhat soon. But the other one, you're going to really have to wait because it's out of your control. And it could take a long time. It may even take the whole rest of this year. It may linger and not be resolved until the end of the year and going into 2020 instead. So you do need to be patient. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, you can really be thinking very quietly about something that is sort of private and dear to your heart that involves your home or your family. And that is because today, that moon in Cancer, which rules that sign, is trining your sun, and so is Neptune in Pisces, which is wonderful. It simply means that since your sign is a fixed financial sign, that you may be quietly thinking about a financial situation that involves your home or a family member, or maybe all of your family members. You could be thinking about how to allocate an inheritance, for instance. You could be thinking about making a move. And if you are thinking about that, I would advise you to think only of what can make you happy. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't consider what will make your family members happy. I'm sure you're doing that. But you have to ask yourself, at this time in your life, what would really make you happy? And it might be that less is more. It might be that downsizing is appealing because it's less work. Or it might be that you want to make sure that others are provided for, even if they aren't getting those provisions right now. In other words, you're allocating funds or investments or whatever to cover your family's expenses, but you still need to think about what you are able to handle today and make that decision privately yourself before you go on. It's important because we don't all stay the same. And it's also possible that you may want to go back to something that had failed before and give that another try. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Well, Sagittarius, this is a time that's wonderful for you, Sagittarius, because Venus in Aries is exactly trining Jupiter in your own sign. And that means you may want to take a long trip, or you may want to start something new, or you may want to move to a distant location. And I think all of that is entirely possible. It's also possible that you just want to improve your education in one way or another, and that could pertain to your religion or your philosophy, or simply to wanting to get more training in order to get a better job. So you can do that as well. So those things are highly favored, and that means that if any of those are one of your choices, they could work out rather well and soon for you, Sagittarius. So I would get on that if I were you. But on the other hand, you might be a little hesitant to speed forward on a second choice right now. It doesn't mean you can't start it, but Neptune in Pisces is squaring your sun, which still means you don't know quite who to trust, and so you can't trust everybody. And also, that Mars in Gemini is opposing your sun sign, and that means there can be some frantic buying and selling or malicious gossip around. And once again, it means you wouldn't quite know who to believe. And so if I were you, I would stick to what is really important to you instead, Sagittarius. And I hope it does involve some sort of travel or higher education or some new start that is very uplifting for you, because I think you would really enjoy that, and so would somebody else. So I think you'd be very popular right now if you tried something like that. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is a time when you can be contemplating two choices, and that's what I think all of us are doing. But one of them could certainly involve a long-term goal of yours, that if you're making a choice for a long-term goal, no matter how long it took, it could be something that would sustain you for the rest of your life, and that would make you very happy. In other words, it wouldn't matter how quickly it got done, just that it was completed and that it stuck with you. Well, that's perfectly possible. On the other hand, you may be involved in some sort of buying and selling or readjusting an investment of yours. And that could be simply an investment portfolio, or it might be something that you own. Maybe you want to trade in an old car and get a new car, and you're doing the work on that, the financing work on that. That could tend to work out well as too. If you are wanting to do something that is more long-term, that has been a lifelong dream, like opening your own business, that too could work out pretty well. You'd have to just be well prepared before you started, because Venus is squaring your sun sign where you have Saturn and Pluto, and that means there can be some sort of betrayal by somebody else. And that means that they could have made a promise in the past that they're not quite ready to follow through on now. And so you really should more or less trust yourself and depend on yourself most of all, Capricorn, because I know you're going to make it. It's just a question of when. And if you're even thinking of a move, this is a good time to do that, but that might take a little longer than you think too. But keep going. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is the time with Mars in Gemini trining your sun that you can be involved in some sort of buying and selling, or even some sort of office gossip right now. You could be wanting to find out what's really going on behind the scenes. But actually, this is a time when you should be thinking about making a new start, even two of them, two choices, because Mars in Gemini is trining your sun, and that Venus in Aries, which is very well aspected right now, is sextiling your sun on one side, and it's trining Jupiter, and that Jupiter in Sagittarius is sextiling your sun on the other side of your sign. You really are going to have a really good opportunity, maybe two of them, to make a new start, or to travel, or to improve your education, or simply to renew yourself. You may even have the opportunity to go back to something that had failed before and give it another try. So several opportunities can present themselves to you now, Aquarius, and that's why I think you ought to go for it. But realize that in making two choices, one of them is going to take much longer than the other. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, this is a time when you can be very pleased with something in a simple way. And the reason why is that Neptune in your sign is trining that moon in Cancer, and together they're both trining the sign of Scorpio. So there may be some more money coming your way, Pisces, and it could be well deserved. And this is also a time that you could make a dream come true. You may want to move. That could work out pretty well. Or it can be, Pisces, since your sign rules charity and forgiveness, that this is an optimum time for you to think about making the choice of saying you're sorry or apologizing for something. And that would heal a rift. And I think there is something that you sort of you're in a predicament where you wish you could sort of heal it and get over it. And this is just a wonderful time to do that, Pisces. So you're the person that could heal the rift, because all that takes is saying you're sorry. And everybody, as soon as a person says they're sorry, well, people understand that, and then it's over. And so that is something you could try. The other thing is, if you're planning a move, it's going to take a little longer than you think, but the money will be there. So good luck on that. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show, read our blog, and hear our podcast on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.